Hi, welcome. My name's Roxana. If you're new to my channel, I am a CPA candidate who has just completed the 4-part CPA exam and the ethics exam in California. Today, as you can tell from the title, I want to talk about failing an exam, which happened to me. I believe that the statistic is only 10% of those who take the exam actually pass all 4 parts on the first try. For my CPA exam journey, I only passed 3 on the first try after failing FAR and having to retake it in 2019. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about what it felt like to fail the exam and also what to do if you fail an exam. So my journey started January of 2019. I started studying for FAR along with a tax internship that I had at a CPA firm. So I started them both right after graduating Sacramento State in December of 2018. So I just kind of jumped in and did both at once, which was pretty hectic. The good thing is my internship was only part-time since I was finishing up a few units for the 150 CPA requirement. So to say the least, it was really hard and it was definitely an adjustment. And I had to learn how to study for one, and then also learn a lot of new things at my internship. It's my first time in public accounting, so it was pretty rough. I took FAR after 5 months of studying, which that was a red flag right there for me. That was too long to study. I really recommend in my other videos and also in my journey to take at a minimum of 3 months to take and pass your exam, just because the faster you get the material in your mind, the more it'll stay, and then the better you'll do on the exam. So that was my first mistake, was studying too long. And then also I didn't go back to review. So as I learned later in my CPA journey, it's good to go back, like maybe take some time on the weekend and go back what you just went over, maybe do 10 multiple choice from questions in previous sections, so that way you can get a refresher and not forget things as you keep moving forward. That seems to be a common issue when I talk to CPA candidates, and that was also my issue. So definitely go back and review. So after the 5 months of studying, when I was getting close to the end, I had talked to a friend and he told me to go over the material again a second time, which I did not have time for. I literally was just trying to get through all the material so I could take the first exam. And so when I took the first exam in May, I was guessing a lot on the exam. I did not feel really prepared. At the end, I felt like everything was fine because I'm like, yeah, I think I passed because I do a lot of stuff. The first time I took FAR, I got a 66. So 9 points away from passing. I had to think about that. I was like, wait, I don't have a calculator. I don't know how much. Yes, 9 points away. So I really feel, looking back, that I needed to have more review time. And so that's why I'm saying that reviewing is huge when you're taking the exams. And so I always recommend people to take 2 to 3 weeks at the end of your 12 weeks. So by week 9 or 10, you should already be reviewing everything over again, just to ensure that you are learning the concepts and reviewing right before your exam. So when I got my score of not passing, I was so sad because I worked so hard. It wasn't that I didn't study. I think it's because I studied a lot. I sacrificed a lot of things that were going on with friends, like weddings and baby showers, and I just said no to them in order to study, and so I just felt like I should have passed. And then once I started studying again for FAR, because I actually took 24 hours of processing time because I was so upset and I thought I was gonna quit, and I was praying. I was like, God, is this what you have for me? Like, is this what I should be doing? I didn't pass on the first try and I put a lot of work and effort. And so I was really questioning myself after not passing my first exam. But then after 24 hours, I kind of felt like, okay, I'm gonna try again, I'm gonna get through this. And it really takes time to process a non-passing score when you think that you did really well and you studied a lot. So definitely take that processing time if you need it. Give yourself time to really refocus and kind of set what your goals are and see if this is what you have planned in your life. So after I took that time off, I was like, I'm gonna study, I have a study plan, and I'm gonna do it again. And you know, I really found that after failing an exam and redoing the material twice, that's when everything started clicking. And I know Roger CPA, the review course that I took, he really says that too. He says once you start doing it a second and third time, then you start getting to know the information a little bit better because you're going over it multiple times, which I did not do when I failed FAR. So as I was going through it a second time, I really felt comfortable and I felt like I knew the material and I felt I did really well. During the review and going back to review different sections, as I was going through them really helped. So for example, if on week 1 I did sections 1 and 2, then at the end of week 1 I would go back and do 10 questions from section 1 and 10 sections from section 2. Let's just say the next week I did sections 3 and 4. At the end of that week, I would do maybe a 10 question quiz of sections 1 and 2, and then a 10 of 3 and a 10 of 4. So that kind of is how I set it up, just so that I could be reviewing and going back and making sure that I'm not forgetting the previous sections. So after that, it took me until September to retake the exam, and it took me a little bit longer just because I was redoing everything a second time and I was learning my study method, and so I think that takes time because all my other exams, I took them within a 3-month period, and I think this part took so long because I'm just learning how to do all this. So hopefully with my videos, if you check out my channel, you'll see other videos, and hopefully that you can find your method as quickly as possible so that you're not taking 8 months for your first exam like I did. So once I went through everything a second time and going back to review everything, then I took my exam in September, which I scored an 81. So that's actually 15 points over my initial score of 66. And yes, I did check my numbers before, and I will always remember this because it was such a hard time and it was such a hard exam. So once I redid it a second time, I boosted my grade and then I passed. And so that was such a good feeling. But you know what? I actually felt so tired and drained because I did not take breaks during the week, and it took so long just to pass FAR that I was like, I don't even want to go move on. Which I feel like once you pass an exam, you're like, yeah, let's keep going, which some people may feel like that. But because I didn't pass the first time and it took me a lot of months to redo FAR and take it again and pass it, I literally took so much time off. Like I think I took a month off. I usually take 2 weeks off, but then I took another 2 weeks off just because I was so tired and I didn't want to start reg, which kind of failed me because I only had about 8 weeks to do reg and pass it. Luckily at this point, after tax season, I stopped working, so I was focusing all of my time on studying, and also I was able to do more family stuff and hang out with friends, so that worked out for me, and I was very, very fortunate enough not to have to work and study, so I'm very grateful for that. So then I started studying for regulation, and then I took that in December. So that's kind of the beginning of what happened when I failed an exam, how I felt, and just having that time to refocus. In terms of my notice to schedule, I had paid for FAR and regulation to pass them both in a 9-month window. So the cool thing is, since I paid for FAR and regulation in March, I took FAR the first time in May, and then what you have to do is apply to the California Board of Accountancy or whichever accountancy board that you're going from based on your state. You reapply, if that's a $50 fee, and then I chose FAR again so that I could have a new code for my exam. And then once I got that code, I was able to schedule my exam for September. So that way I could take FAR again before I took regulation. And that was my rush after FAR, is I had to take regulation before December because my payment was going to expire after 9 months of paying for my exam. So in terms of my notice to schedule, I paid for FAR regulation, and then after I did not pass FAR, I was able to repay for FAR and take it before I had to take regulation. So definitely be mindful of your notice to schedule and when your payments are going to be due, and give yourself time so that if you have to retake one, you'll have time to do so before your second exam payment expires. So that's it for today. I wanted to let you know that even if you fail an exam on your first try, you can still pass it, or even later in your exam journey, if you do not pass on the first time, you can just keep going, take a month or two in order to retake the exam, and then keep studying, and your grade will be boosted if you put in the time, be consistent, and really focus on your exams. Thanks so much for watching. Like this video if you liked it. Please leave a comment below and follow me on Roxana's Way to CPA, and I'll see you guys on the next video. I am currently a CPA candidate. I don't know what to say. So hot. It's not a good idea to wear a sweater, honey. I'm getting close to the end though. And then I did not pass FAR, so I had a 3-month window to... Oh my gosh, those sneezes are in there. Oh man. What do I say at the end? Thanks so much. Like, subscribe. Okay.